Today, I'm presenting Never Let Me Go's by Kazu Ishiro's and connecting it to the ideas from Harari 21 Lessons for 21st Centuries. At first, these two books can seem very different. Never Let Me Go is a quiet dystopian novel that talk about clones, friendships, memories, and death, while Harari's book is a non-fiction that talk about technologies, liberties, equality, and work. However, in my point of view, they're asking a similar question. What happens when powerful systems decide the values of human life? This is the main connections I want to explore today. Never Let Me Go is a coming-of-age stories. They're a student at school, their jealousies, friendship, first love, and childhood memory. But slowly, we're realizing more disturbing about the system is that they're created for one purpose. They're clones and their organs to be used for donations. And their futures are already being planned for them before they even understand it. First, they become the carriers, then donor, and they eventually die from it. What makes this system so disturbing is that how everyone sees it as normals. The clones is not laid in the obvious prisons. They're not constantly bitten or chanced, but instead they're raised to accept their fate. And so the story not only asking is it cruel, it's asking how can these societies make cruelty feel normal, but this cruelty benefit from others people. This is where Harari's book becomes useful. In 21 Lessons for 21st Centuries, he warns about in modern world where modern technology and institutions may slowly take control over human life. And he warned about the futures where algorithms, governments, corporations, and economic systems may decide what we study, where we work, what we worth, and even how much freedom we really have. And so Never Let Me Go is just not a story about clones. It connects to a much bigger fear. The fear is not only that we be physically controlled, but also we can be controlled quietly to systems that seem normal, efficient, or even humane. And this connects especially to two of Harari's themes about liberties and equality. First, liberties. In Never Let Me Go, the clones, they can talk to others, they can form friendships, they can fall in love, they can have childhood memories, and they can even travel a little further when they get older. But they're missing the most important freedoms, is that they do not control the directions of their own life. Their futures already planned for them before they even old enough to understand it. And this is where it's connected to Harari's book, where Harari is concerned about liberties. In the modern world, we may slowly give decision-making power to systems that we can see that know us, classifies, or even guide our choices. And this is exactly, people can still feel free because they can make small choice, but the big choice already shaped by technologies, economic, and social systems. So this is exactly what's happening in Never Let Me Go. The clones, they can have choices, but not the futures that belong to them. So the questions becomes, if your life path is set by force that you did not choose, what does freedom really mean? And the second connection is equalities. As a reader, we all know that these clones are humans. We can see their thought, memories, jealousies, emotions, fear, sadness, just like us. They're not presented as machines or as the monster. They're presented as humans. But the society in the novel refused to accept them as equal humans. Why? Because not admitting that the clones are humans, giving them the comfort of destroying other life without knowing for their own good. And if the societies fully admitted these clones were humans, then the whole system would become morally unbearable. And this changed how we think about freedoms. And in Harari's chapters on equalities, he mentions about how in modern world, new technologies can create an extremely unequal societies where some people have great powers, wealth, and protections, and other groups is less importance or even irrelevant to it. And Never Let Me Go take it to an extreme levels, whereas one group get to live longer and healthier life, and another groups have to sacrifice for it, and they mainly exist just for that purpose. And the more disturbing part is that this society system itself as civilized. This is a warning about how inequalities can exist even if it's not openly violent. It can be hidden behind our polite language, institutions, and everyday routine. So the question is, if a society start ranking life by usefulness, can inequalities even survive? So in comparisons, these two books, Ishiguro's and Harari's, they both warn us about the systems that reduce humans' values. In Never Let Me Go, the clones are reduced to just organs, while in Harari's warning, people can reduce to just data, productivities, economics, values, and usefulness. Both texts things about societies when they're good at organized people life, but is not as good at respecting human dignities. So is just a warning about societies that say that these people matter less because they're useful to us. And to conclude, Never Let Me Go's and 21 Lessons for 21st Centuries asks us to think about liberties, equalities, and humans' values. Through Never Let Me Go, Ishiguro shows how freedom can be easily removed without an obvious chance, and how inequalities can become normal when another groups get benefit from it. While in Harari Warning, he gives us a modern version of it, about how how new institutions and technology can reduce people's and controls their choice, their directions, their roles, and value into societies. So the real issues is the society which is all humans at themselves as the end, or they just continue to use it as a tool for their own comfort. And so this is more, it's just a sad and unfair stories about the clones. It is connected to a much bigger fears about the societies that can look peaceful, educated, and civilized, but can still be cruel if it's come to the benefits of others.